G'day and welcome. Today we're going on a bit of a special journey, a gentle float above a city that seems to breathe with the rhythm of the water that flows through it. We invite you now to simply sit back, take a deep breath, and let your worries drift away. We are ascending into the soft morning air above Yangzhou, a place where time itself seems to slow down, where ancient stories are whispered on the breeze, and where nature and human hands have worked together for centuries to create something truly remarkable. From up here, the world below unfolds not as a noisy, bustling city, but as a peaceful, living painting, a masterpiece of green and blue. Forget the maps and the guidebooks for a moment. Our guide today is the gentle current of the air, and our destination is a feeling of pure tranquility. We will drift like a leaf on the wind, looking down upon a landscape that has inspired poets and artists for dynasties. Here, the hustle of modern life seems to fade into a gentle hum, replaced by the silent poetry of weeping willows dipping their branches into calm waters and the elegant curve of a stone bridge arching over a canal. Now let us turn our attention to what truly defines this incredible place, the water. From our peaceful perch in the sky, Yangzhou looks like a delicate leaf, etched with a complex network of veins. These are the rivers and canals, most famously the Grand Canal, an ancient waterway that has carried goods, stories, and emperors for centuries. It snakes its way through the landscape, a wide, majestic artery of history. Look closely, and you can see the slow, steady movement of barges gliding along its surface like patient water beetles, continuing a tradition that is as old as the canal itself. The water is a dark, placid ribbon, reflecting the clouds and the sky in its mirror-like surface. Branching off from this great waterway are countless smaller canals, like tiny capillaries delivering life to every corner of the city. They weave through residential areas, their banks lined with stone pathways and shaded by trees. These canals are the quiet backstreets of Yangzhou, where the real, everyday life of the city unfolds. From up here we can see residents washing clothes by the water's edge, or simply sitting on stone benches, watching the world go by. The water brings with it an explosion of life and color. The banks of every river and canal are lined with a profusion of greenery. We can see weeping willows, their long, delicate branches trailing in the water as if they are combing its surface. There are patches of bright pink and white lotus flowers floating in the quieter sections, their large, flat leaves creating a carpet of green on the water. Wherever there is water, there must be a way to cross. And in Yangzhou, the bridges are not merely functional structures, they are works of art, each with its own character and story. As we drift slowly overhead, we can see dozens of them scattered across the city like elegant stone stitches holding the fabric of the land together. They arc gracefully over the canals, their reflections in the still water below, creating perfect, unbroken circles. These are the famous moon bridges, designed to capture the beauty of the full moon, both in the sky and in its watery reflection. One bridge in particular catches the eye. This is the 5-pavilion bridge, standing proudly over the Slender West Lake. It looks less like a bridge and more like a floating palace. From our aerial perspective, we can appreciate its unique and intricate design. A long, wide base supports 5 distinct pavilions, each with a gracefully curved, yellow-tiled roof. It is a symphony of architecture, a structure that is both grand and exquisitely detailed. Beyond the grand, famous bridges, there are countless smaller ones, humble and charming. We see simple stone slabs, worn smooth by centuries of footsteps, connecting narrow alleyways in the old town. There are covered wooden bridges, providing shelter from the sun and rain, their dark timbers contrasting beautifully with the bright green foliage around them. Each one is perfectly integrated into its surroundings. Now we shift our focus to the patches of deep, vibrant green nestled within the city. These are the classical gardens of Yangzhou, and from the air, they look like precious emerald jewels set in the urban landscape. They are not vast, sprawling parks, but small, enclosed worlds of perfect harmony and tranquility. Each one is a masterpiece of design, a miniature landscape created to evoke the beauty of wild nature. From up here, we can see the key elements that make up these gardens. The shimmering ponds, the clusters of intricately shaped rocks, the winding covered walkways, and the elegantly placed pavilions with their curving roofs. Let's hover over one of them, the Guiyuan Garden. Its layout is a marvel of complexity and artistry. We can trace the paths as they meander through different sections, each designed to represent a different season. We see groves of dark green bamboo, their tall, slender stalks creating a dense canopy. We see rocks carefully arranged to look like miniature mountain ranges, complete with tiny paths and peaks. A central pond acts as the heart of the garden, its surface a mirror reflecting the sky, the rocks, and the surrounding pavilions. It is a world in a bottle, a place designed for quiet contemplation and escape. The covered walkways, with their dark tiled roofs, snake through the gardens like gentle dragons, their latticed windows framing different views, like living pictures. Let us now drift over the heart of Old Yangzhou. From this height, the area transforms into a magnificent, sprawling tapestry woven from countless shades of grey and terracotta. The rooftops of the old town huddle together, creating a beautiful, undulating landscape of their own. Unlike the uniform grids of modern cities, this is a wonderfully organic collection of shapes and sizes. We see the gentle slopes of traditional tiled roofs, their surfaces weathered by centuries of sun and rain. The tiles, once uniform, now show a rich patina of age, with subtle variations in color from dark gray to soft brown, sometimes dotted with patches of green moss. The skyline is not flat. It rises and falls with the varying heights of the houses, creating a rhythm that is gentle on the eye. Here and there, a roofline is broken by the elegant upturned eaves of a more important building, perhaps an ancestral hall or the home of a wealthy merchant from a bygone era. We can also spot small enclosed courtyards, hidden from street view but visible to us, offering tiny pockets of private green space. Winding through this sea of tiles are the narrow alleyways, appearing from our perspective as thin, dark lines. They twist and turn, following a logic that is ancient and unhurried. These are the arteries of the old town. As we look down, we notice the small details that bring this tapestry to life. A single satellite dish on an ancient roof, a line of brightly colored laundry strung between two houses, a collection of potted plants on a small balcony. These are the signs of a living, breathing neighborhood, not a museum piece. We now glide towards the most celebrated feature of Yangzhou's landscape, a place that is not really a lake, but more of a long, meandering river of sublime beauty. This is Slender West Lake. From the air, its shape is wonderfully irregular, a winding corridor of water that narrows and widens as it makes its way through a landscape of gardens, bridges, and pavilions. It is the city's masterpiece, a perfect fusion of natural scenery and human artistry. The water is a calm, jade green, its surface dotted with small pleasure boats moving at a leisurely pace, their occupants lost in the serenity of the surroundings. The banks of the lake are a continuous flowing garden. We see a stunning variety of trees and plants, their colors changing with the gentle curve of the shoreline. Long lines of weeping willows create a soft green curtain along the water's edge, their branches swaying in the breeze. Behind them are groves of maple, their leaves a fiery red in autumn, and patches of delicate peach blossoms which would be a cloud of pink in the spring. The landscape is not wild, but it feels natural. Every tree, every shrub, and every flower has been planted with an artist's eye to create a series of perfect, unfolding scenes. Dotted along the lake are architectural gems that enhance its beauty. We have already seen the magnificent five-pavilion bridge, and now we can see others, like the White Pagoda, a striking structure reminiscent of the one in Beijing's Beihai Park. It stands on a small hill, its white form a brilliant contrast against the green trees and blue water. We can also see the fishing platform, a small, elegant pavilion extending out over the water, designed as a spot for ancient scholars to sit, fish, and compose poetry. As our journey continues, we look for the structures that reach towards the sky, the spiritual anchors of this ancient city. These are the temples and pagodas, and from our aerial view they stand out distinctly from the surrounding residential rooftops. Their architecture is grander, their colors are richer, and their presence speaks of a deep and enduring history of faith and philosophy. We drift towards the Daming Temple, a sprawling complex located on a gentle hill. From here, we can see the symmetrical layout of its halls, their dark timber frames and heavy ornate roofs, creating a sense of solemnity and importance. The centerpiece of the temple complex is the Chilling Pagoda, a magnificent 9-story structure that rises high above the trees. Its octagonal shape is clear from our top-down view, and we can admire the graceful curve of its eaves at each level. The pagoda is a powerful landmark, a beacon that would have been visible for miles around, guiding travelers and pilgrims for centuries. It seems to watch over the city, a silent guardian of its history and traditions. The colors of these religious sites are also striking. While the old town is a sea of muted grays, the temples are adorned with rich, symbolic colors. We see the imperial yellow on the roof tiles of the most important halls, a color once reserved for the emperor, signifying the temple's high status. We see deep reds on the walls and columns, a color representing good fortune and joy. While our journey has focused on the timeless beauty of ancient Yangzhou, it is important to see the whole picture. As we drift towards the edges of the old center, the landscape begins to change. The dense tapestry of gray tiles gradually gives way to wider streets, larger buildings, and more open green spaces. This is the new face of Yangzhou, a modern city that is growing and evolving. Yet, even here, from our aerial perspective, we can see that the development has been thoughtful. There is a sense of order and space that is often missing in rapidly growing cities. The new buildings, while taller and more modern in their design, seem to pay respect to the city's heritage. We see clean lines and glass facades, but the overall scale is not overwhelming. The city has avoided the temptation to build a forest of jagged skyscrapers. Instead, the new districts feel spacious and green. We can see wide, tree-lined boulevards, large public parks, and modern residential areas with plenty of space between the buildings. It seems that the spirit of Yangzhou, its love for nature and open space, has influenced its modern development as well. One of the most remarkable features of the new city is the abundance of green. Large, beautifully manicured parks and sports fields are woven into the fabric of the modern districts. From the air, they look like vast green carpets, providing lungs for the city and recreational spaces for its residents. This thoughtful blend of old and new is perhaps the final, most impressive aspect of our aerial view. Yangzhou is not a city frozen in time, nor has it sacrificed its soul for the sake of progress. It has found a delicate balance. Our gentle journey above the rooftops and waterways of Yangzhou is now coming to a close. As we begin our slow descent, we take one last look at the magnificent landscape spread out beneath us. We see the shimmering ribbons of the canals, the emerald jewels of the gardens, the elegant arches of the stone bridges, and the intricate tapestry of the old town's roofs. It is a view that calms the mind and nourishes the soul. The city has shared its quiet beauty with us, revealing a world where nature and humanity exist in a state of peaceful, harmonious balance. The feeling that Yangzhou leaves you with is one of profound tranquility. It is a reminder that beauty can be found in simplicity, in the gentle curve of a roof, the reflection of a willow in the water, or the weathered texture of an old stone path. This city teaches us the value of slowing down, of taking the time to observe the small details, and of finding moments of quiet contemplation in our busy lives. The scenes we have witnessed from above are more than just pretty pictures. They are an invitation to find that same sense of peace and harmony within ourselves and in the world around us. You don't need to be floating in the clouds above China to find this feeling. The spirit of Yangzhou can be an inspiration. Look for the canals and gardens in your own life, the quiet paths, the moments of natural beauty, the simple things that bring you a sense of calm. So, as we touch back down to earth, carry this feeling of calm with you. Remember the gentle flow of the Grand Canal, the perfect stillness of the garden ponds, and the timeless grace of the 5-pavilion bridge. Let the memory of this aerial journey be a small sanctuary you can return to in your mind whenever you need a moment of escape. Thank you for joining us on this flight.